Holding an event that doesn't clash with the racing calendar means championship teams can also be fans and enjoy a century of speed machines in just one weekend.
The Goodwood Festival of Speed, brilliantly disguised as an uphill run, is so much more than that. This is a celebration of all things automotive. Now, about 20 years ago, Lord March, the owner of this small estate and that tiny little cottage behind me, was sitting on his balcony overlooking his garden when he decided to race some sports cars up his front driveway. That front driveway is now the racetrack, as you can see, and every day about 100,000 people pile in here. This has effectively become the British Motor Show.
Honoring 50 years of Porsche Motorsport was a gravity-defying sculpture showcasing real 911s. This top BBC motor journalist was in paradise.
Lee Mackenzie, you've been to some of the most iconic cities in the world, the biggest races. What does this festival mean to you?
This is actually a really lovely one to come to because it's so accessible for the fans. You can just look around. Normally these guys have got to have, like 10 passes to get into a Formula One paddock. They can almost come up and just like poke cars that Lewis Hamilton has won, the Hungarian Grand Prix in, which is just unheard of. It's become actually such a big occasion in Britain, and it's just for the real fans, not really your sort of corporate guys that will attend an awful lot of things and have a few drinks. People that come here are real motorsport fans, and that's quite unusual.
This being West Sussex, it stood to reason that a British racing team like McLaren and driver Jenson Button would steal the show.
Jenson Button, welcome back to Top Billing. The last time we spoke to you in Cape Town, you were racing for BAR. Since then, you've won the World Championships. You're racing for McLaren, and I know this festival is very close to your heart.
It's an event where the fans of every motorsport can come together, but also the drivers and the riders that have raced around the world in different categories can come here to ride them, to drive them, but also to be a fan as well. This is a great event to see things that you would never see anywhere else. To see the McLaren collection driving all at once, you would never see that anywhere else in the world.
We have to talk about that beast of a machine behind you, the P1. As a Formula One racing driver, how do you feel about it?
The problem is with a lot of the new technologies used in road cars, it does take away from the driving experience. That's not the case with this thing. So now I'm really excited about showing people what it can do up the hill. It sounds great as well, and it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it?
The P1 uses petrol-electric powertrain and Formula One technology. To guide us through it, we had auto design legend Frank Stevenson.
I believe when it comes to the aerodynamics of this car, they're better than anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do a road car that's in the hypercar segment, the main thing is to keep the car on the ground. So with aerodynamics, it's very interesting. Aerodynamics, you need to keep the car going, but obviously the kind of engine we have in here, over 900 horsepower, it's very easy to achieve a very high top speed. What's more difficult is to achieve the downforce that you need to keep the car glued to the ground.
How have you done it in this car?
We use a lot of biomimicry. We use a lot of race car technology. One interesting part, obviously, is in this area here. We release a lot of the air coming out through the wheel well, but the whole principle, especially, for example, where have you ever seen a car that actually takes the main air into the radiators in through the shoulder? It makes a lot of sense because in general, when you take air in, just about every car out there takes it in on the side, but you have to think in terms of aerodynamics that you have to actually turn the air about 90 degrees in towards the car, and you lose a lot of efficiency. Most natural way is through there, also through the snorkel on the roof. Basically, we're ramming the air into the engine, so you get a lot of energy from this air, and a high-performance engine needs a lot of air to breathe and a lot of exit space for the heat to get out of the back of the car.
Across the grass lay Benzes, luxury models from motoring's golden age, and one that saw the return of a famed Italian racing name.
Now this is my dream car, the Bugatti Veyron, arguably the most talked about sports car of the 21st century. Fastest 0 to 100 in 2.4 seconds, top speed of 431 kilometers an hour. Comes at a hefty price tag, £1.5 million. But here's the catch, it has a predecessor that is way more expensive. Folks, here we have it, the 1936 Bugatti Type 57S Atlantic. Only 4 of these ever made. Here's the catch. It comes in at a whopping price tag of £20 million. Now here's a collector's item, if you've ever seen one.
At the supercar paddock, grown men stood hypnotized by these engineering showpieces. As for the drivers on display, amongst a host of racing legends was SA's Dakar champion Janelle de Villiers, who won the prized Drivers Award.
Janelle, I've never been to a motorsport event that has this unique feeling to it. What brings you here?
The main reason why I'm here is we drive the Dakar rally car and we're displaying it up in the Forest Rally stage, taking some guests around and giving them a feel of what it's like in a Dakar car. And I have to say, this is the biggest motorsport show in the world, and as you can see, the amount of people that come here. If you're a car nut and if you love cars, you have to come here at least once in your lifetime.
The festival is classified as a hill climb, where cars race uphill against the clock, something Yanez was about to experience.
I'm so super excited. It's difficult to take the smile off my face. I just want you to introduce you to my girlfriend. This is the McLaren 5012C Spider. I'm going to give her a kiss. She's absolutely beautiful. Now we're doing the uphill run. It's about 1.8 kilometers. So Oliver, what exactly do you do?
My role is a test and reserve driver for Vodafone McLaren Mercedes Formula 1 team. So most of my time is spent in a simulator developing the Formula 1 car, but then I'm also out track testing and aero testing for the team.
So Yanez was in safe hands. Unlike convertibles with a steel chassis, this carbon fiber monocell needs no strengthening, so no extra weight and no compromise on speed.
I'm in absolute awe of what just happened. Now, I've been on a racetrack before. This takes the game to a whole new level. Driving along those narrow little roads, they're honestly this much wider than the car, passing those stone walls, takes the adrenaline levels from here to there. I think the only way to describe it is to look at my hand.
And today this is a special edition McLaren 50th 12C Spider. It's the first time this car's been driven in public, and you're the first to get a passenger ride in the car, and so it's part of McLaren's history.
We are part of history. Thank you so much.